This is going to cover the lesson for Workbook 2.1, and it is on fact families and related facts. Now, fact families are going to be a review from like the first grade, but then you're going to do some other things with them. So it's good to just get ourselves familiarized again with what we call fact families. So here is a fact family, and here's a second one, and here's a third one. Fact families usually have 4 math problems in them, and there's 2 addition problems and 2 subtraction problems. Now, I say usually because we're going to come over here and see when there's a difference. But you'll notice that in this family, there are 3 members, a 7, an 8, and a 15, and a 7, an 8, and a 15, and a 7, an 8, and a 15, and 7, 8, and 15. So 7 plus 8 equals 15, 8 plus 7 equals 15, 15 minus 8 equals 7, and 15 minus 7 equals 8. That's why they're called fact families, because they have related facts. Here's one. 9 plus 8 is 17. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. 17 minus 9 is 8. Now, the reason this one only has 2 members is because these 2 numbers are exactly the same. 7 plus 7 equals 14. Well, if we were going to reverse these two, like we do here, we have 9 plus 8, then 8 plus 9. If we're going to reverse them, we're just going to end up with 7 plus 7. So there's no reason to write them down a second time exactly the same way. And the same goes with the subtraction fact. So when you are doubling the number, then your fact family is only going to have 2 members. So when we talk about what does a related fact mean? Well, here is one member of the fact family. So if we are going to look at a related fact, we can either do a subtraction or another addition. So if we're going to do the other addition, we're going to say 6 plus 5 equals 11. That's going to be the other addition member. So this is a related fact of this. Now we could also have said, as a related fact, 11 minus 5 equals 6, because that's also a member of this fact family. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because your worksheet is going to ask you to write a related fact. So they just want you to write either the other addition problem or one of the other subtraction problems, which would be that one. So that's what it means by related fact. So if we're going to do this one over here, we start with 10 minus 3 is 7. And if our goal or our assignment is to write a related fact to this, well, I could say 10 minus 7 equals 3, or I could say 7 plus 3 equals 10, or I could say 3 plus 7 equals 10. Any of those is going to be a related fact to this one up here. So when we look at this next one, if it asks for a related fact that has, so you're going to write another fact that has these 3 numbers in it. Think about what you're going to write down and say it out loud. And maybe you said 9 plus 7 equals 16. Or maybe you said 7 plus 9 equals 16. Or maybe you said 16 minus 7 equals 9. Those would all be related facts. So on your workbook page, it's going to ask you to find the missing number and then write a related fact. A related fact. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to find this missing number. What goes in there? What plus 4 equals 11? It might be tempting to say 7. Well, and I hope you do because that's the right answer. 7 plus 4 equals 11. I was going to say it might be tempting to write 15, but so 7 plus 4 equals 11. Then if it wants you to do a related fact, then you're going to use these 3 numbers and write another fact that goes in this fact family. So you could say 4 plus 7 equals 11. You could also have said 11 minus 4 equals 7 or 11 minus 7 equals 4. Those are all related facts. Your workbook page only wants you to write one related fact, so you only have to do one of those. Now this one asks 9 minus 4. We have to figure out what goes in the blank. So you might think this is really too easy for me, but it starts you off easy because later on in the chapter, we're going to get more challenging. So just be grateful for the easy problems right now. And then it wants you to write a related fact. So think about what related fact you might write down. And I'm going to say 5 plus 4 equals 9 as my related fact. I only have to write one. That's what the directions say, so I'm going to go with that. Now this problem right here, blank minus 8 equals 9. So many times I've seen fourth graders put a 1 in there. But now this is where you have to really look at your work and say to yourself, does that make sense? If you start off with 1, can you subtract 8 from it? No, you can't. So I see what you did. You did 9 minus 8 equals 1, but that's not what the problem asks. It's what minus 8 equals 9. So if you're really stumped on that, the key is add these two numbers together. And 9 plus 8 gives you 17. Now 17 minus 8 equals 9. Does that make sense? Yes, it does, because this has to be the greatest number, the largest number, the biggest number. 17 minus 8 equals 9. Then to write a related fact, you could say, this is what I did to solve that problem. 8 plus 9 equals 17. So that's one related fact. So here we go again down here. And we talked up here about writing the related fact. So down here, I'm just going to talk you through finding the missing number. For the most part, it's going to be a simple thing. But when we come to problems like this, I notice that kids tend to get confused. So I want to review that a little bit more. So find the missing number. 12 minus what equals 4? What can we put in there? Here's one way to figure that out. You can say, what is 12 minus 4? I hope you said it's 8, because it is. 12 minus 8 equals 4. If you said 12 minus 4, you're going to get 8. If you add 8 plus 4, you're going to get 12. So that's where you can stop and ask yourself all those questions. What you're doing basically is building a fact family in your head. This one, 15 plus 3, that one's pretty straightforward. 18. Here's the one that kids tend to get a little stumped on. When this number in a subtraction problem, the front number is missing. So when the front number is missing from a subtraction problem, add these two numbers together. 4 plus 6. And what do you get? You get 10. And is it true that 10 minus 4 equals 6? Yes, it is. So these are the ones that can be the stumpers. And just remember, you add these two numbers together to get the front number. Now we have blank plus 8 equals 20. If I start with 8, what do I have to add to it to get 20? So here you can say, what is 20 minus 8? 20 minus 8 is 12. Okay, so notice over here when we had subtraction, we added these two to get the front number. When we have addition, we subtract to get the front number. All right, you can also use a number line and count up or count back. 14 plus blank equals 18. All right, think about that. How many hops are you? If you're at 14 to get up to 18, I hope you said 4. And this one's very straightforward. 7 minus 6 equals 1. And one of the reasons that fourth graders sometimes have trouble with this is because it's so easy. They think, surely this can't be what they're really asking me for. But it really is. It starts off with fairly simple problems. And as the chapter progresses, it gets more challenging. So just remember that.